This episode of Lash Boss Radio is brought to you by Paris Lash Academy. If you guys haven't heard of PLA, they are known for their pro-made fans. Even before pre-mades, pro-mades were a thing and done well by a lot of companies, they were doing it right. They actually have their own manufacturing facility in Vietnam, and that is just next level quality control, if you ask me. I love PLA because their team is just so incredibly generous and kind and sweet. Last year, I met them at the event that I threw with LashCast, which was the Las Vegas Lash Social, which was during IBS. We're doing it again this year, but I met them there, and they were all smiles, all hanging out, just looked so happy to be together. And I just really liked that. I love that inside of a company. So they've got great quality products, and their customer service is like unmatched. They're probably one of the most generous companies that I have come across. So thank you so much, PLA, for sponsoring today's episode. If you guys want to shop Paris Lash Academy, you can do so at parislashacademy.com and use code LashBossRadio for 15% off of your order. Thank you again, PLA, and here is today's episode. Hey everyone, welcome back to Lash Boss Radio. I'm Shelby, your host, and today I'm joined by Paul Luebbers of LashCast and LashCon. We're going to be talking about LashCon coming up this year in October in Anaheim, California. We're also talking about something really exciting we're doing for the second year in a row in Vegas in June on the 25th to be exact. So stay tuned and please welcome Paul. All right, Paul, welcome back to Lash Boss Radio for like the third time?
I'm
Maybe
aiming
fourth.
for four, maybe four. I don't know, but at least three. Yes,
Definitely
very excited to be here.
You're the longest. You've been here the most out of anyone, so it's a big thing.
It's an honor, and we're the two longest going podcasts, so it's kind of appropriate, I think. So that's pretty cool.
I know there's so many now; it's crazy, but that is true. We were the first, so
we're the OGs.
Yes.
All right, we can. When everyone looks back in 20 years from now, they'll be like, yes, Shelby's name will be in gold as like one of the last, podcast OGs. It'll be cool.
So in this episode, I really wanted to bring you back, talk about LashCon because it's grown to be so huge. You guys are changing locations this year. We also are planning something really fun for this summer. So I just wanted to bring you on to talk about it. So tell us about LashCon, what's all going to be different this year and everything.
LashCon this year we're kind of calling it the Coachella of Lash conferences because it's just a circus. There's so much happening. And also because we like to think you need to come and build your own con. Don't come thinking you're going to do everything. If you do, you literally go crazy and just not be able to handle it. Because there's literally at every moment we have something going on. There's this year, like most conferences, you generally go in a room, you hang out, and you meet all your friends. It's a lot of fun. It's really cool. But, when we started this 5 years ago, and Shelby's been part of everyone with us, so it's always been a blessing to have her, bring her expertise to our con. I think you and Really Strategy are the only people that have come to every con.
Oh,
Everyone
wow,
else, we'd like to switch up. And then that's mainly because we don't want to just have the same speakers every year. We do like to mix it up. So this year it's a whole different lineup with just a couple returnings because Shelby and Strategies are just our biggest, really just, I will say leaders in the world when it comes to team base. Like, what do you do with team base? How do you do it? Shelby is like the queen of doing it right. And Strategies is the company that started it. So that's it. But that said, this year we have so many new upgrades. One, the hotel's 3 times the size. So last year we were in a nice, cute little hotel in Pasadena. And now we're at this convention hotel that's right, by the way, 10-minute walk from Disneyland. So that's not a bad. I already know tons of people are buying tickets to go to Disneyland either before or after. And the big thing I'm telling people is don't buy your ticket yet. We're going to have a discount code starting in July because they don't give you discount counts more than 3 months before the event. So we'll have a 10% off discount code for anyone who wants to do Disneyland and LashCon. Just wait for that. And you'll get that coming very, very soon. But so aside from that bigger hotel, a lot more space, a lot more room, our trade show area is going to have like over 90 to 100 booths with all types of lash brands and other supporting type of companies that you can go buy, test, try out, meet your favorite people. But we also have a really cool thing, which is going to be like a lounge area. In that lounge, there will be a massage area where you can go get a massage for like 10 or 15 bucks and get a little 15-minute massage. So we're going to have that set up. We're also going to have some other services in there that you can go in and check out, as well as like we're looking at permanent jewelry, maybe microblading or something like that. And then next door, we have a game room. So if you have a boyfriend or husband who's bored, we can just send them to the game room. And you can go there.
I love that.
There'll be foosball, ping pong, all sorts of different games, pool, and so forth, along with our, again, Instagram room, which will be bigger, more expanded. So you can go take all your friends, take photos. It's going to be well lit. It's going to be really well with music playing and all that. So that's going to be kind of new things we're going to have. And then we're looking to do a podcast room, which I haven't told you about, but we're thinking about setting up a room where people are, all our fellow podcasters can take spots or rent spots out of that if they want to. And that way, because literally every major name in the industry is there. So if you want to get people on your podcast, you can take that room and bring them in. So that'll be fun. And you can go watch. I think we're going to allow people to go and sit down if they want to watch their favorite podcaster, they can. We're going to look into having a photographer there to do headshots. So if you want to get your headshot done, there'll be a little station, go by, pay a nominal fee because we're going to subsidize it ourselves. So you can go in, get your headshots. And then, of course, it's really always about the parties and the speakers. We have an amazing new lineup, almost all new people, maybe a few returning, but overall, it's a powerhouse lineup. We always go out and get national speakers that speak at big giant trade shows that come, and we have a few of them coming that are really going to be great. They're going to either give you some marketing expertise or some motivation, some mindset hacks, and just really help you in the bigger picture. And then we have the breakout sessions, and this is where we talk about build your own con. We have 5 breakout sessions. You can go to each of those rooms and you can build your lineup. And there'll be 5 different breakout sessions you can go to, plus 2 lunch breakout sessions. So technically 7, because one of the things we heard from people last year saying, we really want more education. Just give us that's why we're here. We're here to learn. So we decided to expand the education, add more breakout sessions. And so that way you can kind of pick those 7 that you want to go to. But the good news is we're recording every one. So when the con's over, you can come back and you can watch the ones you miss. And that will be on our app. We're the only conference I know that has an app that it's interactive. You can meet friends. You can do all sorts of fun stuff. And it's a great place to connect and to build your schedule. And then when the con's over, watch the replays. Also, another thing too, on that app, you can reach out to speakers and sponsors. So it's really a great tool that you can fully integrate and interact with each other. And we also added, we're going to do a movie night on Monday night. So we're going to have give alternatives to people. So while people are, because some people say, look, I'm not a party person. I'm not there to dance my butt off or anything like that. I just want to come hang out and see some friends. That's why we added the cafe. So you can sit down with the cafe. There'll be a coffee shop in there. And that night we're thinking about adding a bar. That's not 100% sure, but maybe we'll have a bar at night. So you can sit there, meet friends, have a drink, have coffee. And then we have a movie night on Monday. So when the PJ party is going on, we're going to show a couple movies down in another area. We're going to have this room with TV screen or big screens, sound. It should be fun to watch some cool movies. We don't know what movies yet, but it'll be something, like we say, we're always PG rated. So everything about us is like PG or PG-13. So yeah, it'll be family friendly-ish, I will say. Then, and on Sunday night, we're going to add, looks like we're going to add 2 escape rooms. So if you don't feel like going to the, the party, that's the karaoke party along with the Lash Awards, you can go downstairs, sign up, get a group of 5, 6, 7, 8 gals and go do an escape room. There'll be 2 of those that we have set up. So we got, like I said, it's build your own con. There's tons of things going on. There's never a dull moment. We have demos going on. We have sponsors have their own suites this year. We have 5 sponsors who've rented out suites. So you can go up, take classes from them, network with them, hang out with your favorite brands. And we also, what else? Gosh. Yeah, I think it's all the big picture stuff. There's a lot of other little surprises and fun things were kind of come up. Lash Sponge will be back, our mascot. So I know that cute. He's very, very cute. Yes. And he's British, by the way, just so in case people ask him. Last year on the app, they asked, you had to fill out questions. And one of them was like, what country is he from? So now I've said enough times, if we do that question again, you should know he's British. He was made in the UK.
Aww,
so
wow.
Yeah, so that's it. It's insane. It's like, I like to say, it's 4 nights of parties. There's a Friday night party or Saturday night party is massive, like Vegas style party with casino, and we have artists doing, balloon animals and hair and makeup and all stuff. And then next door we have the nightclub where you can go dancing, and we have a new DJ this year they're bringing in who does both. He has an MC, but he also plays drums while doing the DJ stuff. So he'll have a drum setup along with that, a little bit of performance artist while also doing the DJ. So it should be really fun for the Saturday night party. And then we have our regular Sunday night, which is just the Lash Awards, not just, but that's the Lash Awards. I think the coolest opportunity for lash artists to be recognized for being a great business person. It's not really about lash artistry. It's really about learning, acknowledging those who are kicking it, both either solo or salon owners. And then afterwards we have our annual, will be our third annual karaoke party, which is really cool. And then Monday night, Allie's back, and Lash Bomb to do the final PJ party. So it's 4 nights of parties, 3 days of a trade shows, like we say, 2 days of speakers, and then one amazing event you don't want to miss. So there's a lot. Hopefully I got that all in a short period of time.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Seriously, if you haven't been to LashCon, it's just an experience. Like, it's just an experience that you really get so much out of it. You always have a really great lineup because you do bring some lash people, but
Yes.
you really do bring a lot of other people from outside of our industry, which has always been really nice to have, because usually at lash conferences, even like my own, it's like a bunch of lash people, which
it's a lash power lineup that you had, right? It's every name you want to see was at your event. And part of the thing for us was like to distinguish ourselves, like, well, we're just have to reach outside that because I don't want, we want to support you too. So we want to do different things. So for us, like we have, someone coming who's a CPA and going to be talking about taxes, both solo artists as well as for salons. So you pick which one you want to go to. We have actually Tara Walsh, who hasn't spoken, I think, in the United States in a long time, is going to be speaking actually on the main stage, be the closing act for us. So even though Tara, she's our other OG who basically started just a little bit after me and Shelby with her podcast and Lashpreneur, she's going to be closing the whole event, and can't wait to have her. So that'll be our big lash name on the stage. But yeah, otherwise we have coaches, we have business people, we have salon owners, we have marketing people, experts. There are a lot of lash artists too, but it is a mix of stuff. So it's not just lash artists that speak at LashCon. And this year we did change one thing, because we get it all the time. People come to LashCon thinking they're going to learn about lashes, and then they don't, because LashCon ironically was never about lashes. It was always about business. So some people go, I really wish I could have seen some classes on lashes. So guess what? This year, we're going to have like 3 or 4 classes on lash technique. I think if I remember right, Michelle from PLA, the CEO, she's going to be teaching a class. Tress from Lashbox LA, I believe, is going to be teaching a class. So we will have, for the first time in our 5th year, some actually lash technique classes. And then we also have stuff on Saturday. So one thing that's really cool about Saturday, because a lot of people come alone and they don't know anyone. So Saturday is really about meeting people. It's about connecting people. So we have in the morning some things called Lash Lab. Those are extra classes you have to pay for, only $150, to have some pretty big names like Kim James speaking, and you have Ali Lilly and some of these other people teaching these classes. But during that same time, Tussauds going to be hosting a free class or a free Q&A time. So you can come in there, and it'll be really a small setting. So like maybe 50 to 100 people, and you can meet people, talk to people, answer Tussauds questions. And then in the afternoon, we'll have some more meetups, possible either the VIP or the salon, or just, any lash artist meetups. So those are places where we create little games and ways for you to meet people and connect with people. And then you have the VIP, or then you have a real quick preview of the trade show in the afternoon. And then we have our epic party in the evening. So, and we really do our best to have people there ready to connect with you. So when you register, on your badge, it'll either say alumni or newbie. So if you're a newbie, you are identified not because we want to mock you or make fun of it. It's actually because we want to make sure, if you're new, that everyone knows. So they make sure to invite you to come with them, sit with them at the table, go to get dinner with them, go get lunch, hang out with them. So they're not sitting all by yourself, because it's really easy to be overwhelmed by the size of everything. So over the years, we've really focused, as you've seen, Shelby, really, I think the staff, all the speakers, everyone knows when you come to LashCon, it's about being inclusive, welcoming people, being warm, smiling at people. It's not about going to your cliques and hanging out. Like, we have no speaker tables at our event. Speakers are forced to sit with everyone else because we're all in this together. It's not like the speakers are some elite group that's lord over us, right? Like you often see at some events. So we really want to make sure we're all kind of jammed in together, and that way you make those connections. So if you come alone, I promise you, you will not leave alone.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of our first and foremost things, aside from teaching you things you need to know, is making sure you feel welcomed and included.
Totally. Yes. And I definitely think you guys do a great job of that. And you give a lot of opportunity for the connection in networking, and the party aspect of LashCon is what I think most people have they leave with, like the memories of the first time I met someone
Yeah.
or the time when I really connected with someone. A lot of it is from a LashCon party. And of course, I take things from the talks and the speakers and everything too, obviously, but it's those times like you really appreciate events like this where you can do that, and you guys are doing it so well. I'm so happy for you guys. It's
Oh,
well
thanks.
deserved, and I cannot wait for this year because one, Disneyland, and two, it's just gotten so big. It's so cool to see.
Yeah. It's kind of a homecoming, like every year,
Hmm.
just once a year. This is your homecoming. Every brand's almost there. You're all these influencers, all these people you see on Instagram are all there, and we're all just humans, right? So finally, you can just nudge up to someone that you've always liked and want to talk to, and they'll be there, and you can chat and hang out with them, have a drink, coffee, whatever. And I will say this: it is. I mean, I've met so many people now who are names in the industry who said, yeah, this is where they first met their bestie, that they kind of collaborated together.
Right.
I've met a bunch of people who started podcasts after coming to LashCon. I've met people who started brands or trainings together because they met LashCon. It's like the list is growing and growing and growing because it really is a place where you find connection. And then I said the other two things you find besides connection is really that inspiration, because you need it for me, I need every few months, I need a kick in the ass to keep me going, to get me motivated. And this is one of those things. It's like a huge boost
Yeah.
of adrenaline that gets you going. And then of course the knowledge, when you walk away, even though it is a lot of people talk about the parties, there are a lot of people that reach out to me and say, no, I don't get rid of the parties. It was about the learning, the classes, the information I got. It totally changed my business. And I've been
Wow.
able to grow my
Yeah.
business because of this. So it's really a 3 tent pole event between the connections, the inspiration, and the knowledge that you get from this conference.
And one thing I will say too, for you guys or for you specifically, because Tessany does see clients, you
Yeah.
spend the entire year
Yes.
planning LashCon,
Yeah.
scouting for LashCon,
Yes.
and just grabbing ideas and stuff even from outside of our industry to make LashCon what it is. And so I want people to know that when you go, it's not just some speaker that asked for a favor from Paul saying, "Can I please speak at this year?" Because can you just share how you pick your speakers and what that process is like?
Yeah, because there are a lot of people who reach out, right? And I usually now it's almost like, well, get in line, because I'm glad you reached out. I'm always honored when people are like, hey, I really want to be part of LashCon, especially when some of these are people that I know, like they're like big names in Europe or overseas, and I've never met them, but they finally, I guess, got wind of LashCon, like, okay, I need to be at this event. So but that's not enough, right? I can't just be just someone there needs to be a relationship. And so
Mhm.
there's a couple of ways. One, we go to the conferences a lot. Like we're going to Dallas. We went to Shelby saying we're going to Dallas Lash Fest. We went to UK one. We try to go to different events and meet and greet and speak with people. Like we're in 2 weeks, we're going to be at Revelation and Borboletta's party that they have in Laguna Beach. So we're going to meet people there. We're going to be at the premiere show this weekend. In fact, Shelby's going to be there too, speaking.
Yeah.
And so we're going to be meeting and greeting people there. So always about making connections and seeing what people are doing, observing people, how they're speaking. So if you get a chance to speak and we're there, we're definitely taking notes, by the way. We're always like, in fact, I already know for next year, I have a couple of people, actually a whole bunch of people already signed up because I saw them this year speak at stuff. And I reached out to them. I said, I would love to see you speak at LashCon. So that's one way. Another way is we do have a submission process. So in November, when we're done with LashCon, you can go on there and submit your talk and just get our attention by that. That may not get you in next year, but that will at least get you on our radar so we know who you are and we'll start paying attention. Maybe we'll start following your social media. We'll start seeing what type of content you're creating, how you're blessing the industry. That's what we're looking for. We want people who are actually really, really doing a lot of giving. We love speakers who give and give and give. I'm not just looking for someone who's doing a sales pitch so they can make some money off our staff or off our following, because truth is, I feel I'm doing them a dishonor if I'm just saying I'm giving you people who just want to make money off you. I think you serve first, and if you serve well, the money will follow, right? So we look for those type of speakers through that. And then also it's just relationships. I mean, almost every speaker that comes to LashCon, I've over the years built a relationship with. with, got to know them, became friends with them, and seen them. And as I've developed that kind of trust, I finally say, okay, let's get you on the stage. I mean, there's people speaking this year who literally 5 years ago wanted to speak. And I was like, nope, not yet either. Some of them still, I felt like need to grow really as speakers. Like I've seen them now. I'm like, wow, you've really grown. You've gotten more, you really put some work into that. I really would like to see you speak now. And some, I just can't have everyone on the stage. It's like, I get 30, 40 people. And if I have my list of speakers is well over 300 at this point. So there's just, I just can't get everyone on. So I hope people know that it's not personal. It's sometimes just part of the process of learning and getting to know you. And then also looking for different aspects. Like I can't have all people who teach technique or all people who are marketers or all people who are social media people. Like I need to find a mix of people so that it's balanced, that the event has many different sides to it. So that's another thing too. So if you don't get picked or man, I've been around and Paul keeps ignoring me. It's not because I don't want you there. I might look and go, I already have like 8 CEOs speaking from other companies. How many more CEOs can I get? I can't have that many. Well, I actually probably would never have 8 CEOs speak. So there is
Right.
limits to what I can do. So that's kind of the process. And hopefully that takes away some of the mystery. Cause I know some people, I've been talked, or some people reached out, they felt hurt or rejected. And it's not that. I really, if I could, I'd have, a 10-week event and just have speakers every day going. And I know, Shelby, you've got to deal with this. It is hard saying no or wait. No, not this year. Cause I like all these people. These are all our friends and they're all good people. And I think they all have good things to say. Just too many voices and not enough time.
Totally. Yeah, I think we've all been to events, even outside of the industry, where it kind of felt like you didn't get a ton of value from certain talks or a lot of the talks. And I think that's not the case here. You can even see if something doesn't necessarily apply to you and where you're at in the time, you can still tell it was valuable and the person is, speaking about something they truly know about and it is valuable. But yeah, so I just wanted to say it's not a situation where it's just like you randomly pick people or just are willy-nilly with your choices. It's something that when you go to that event, you know that you're really going to take away a lot from it. It's well worth the price that you guys have it at.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we have tracks actually. We have like a technique track, we had a marketing track, we had a salon owner track, and we have a solo artist track. And I try to make sure that each of those tracks get filled with speakers that are good in those fields. So that way, I mean, like Michelle, she's been in the industry from PLA for a long time. I think, gosh, a long time, since before 2010, and has taken, I think, like 20 classes, by the way, with every major trainer you can think of. And so I figured Michelle knows lashes. She has got one of the biggest companies in the country, so she could teach on that. And then also Tress. I mean, everyone knows Tress from Lashbox. So having her come and do that, I think was really nice to add them into the mix. While at the same time, having some newbies come on and speak who are experts in their area. I know a lot of people know Maddie and Elliot from Lighthearted Lash, but they're from my last 2 brain cells. They're going to be speaking about building online classes and trainings because they've really killed it selling ebooks and trainings online. And they're going to share how they do that and help you if that's where you want to go. So there's opportunities like that. So we really try to make sure we have a wide breadth of stuff that can help you no matter where you're at. So if you're solo, don't worry. You don't have to take the salon classes. And if you are really focused, like I'm weak in marketing, well, you can come and really focus on marketing or technique. You're like, no, finally you can just come to LashCon and learn technique too. So we're really trying our best to really mix it up and get that type of variety. So you can build, like I said, build your own con.
So there's a really, really small percentage of artists that attend events, even that that there's going to be about 1,000 people or more this year. Was that last year? That was last year.
Last year at 1,000. This year we already have probably about 1,150 coming. So
wow. Okay.
We might end up with I think somewhere between 1,300 and 1,500 lash artists at this event.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, even that's a lot of people, but that's still such a small amount of people that come to events. And I talk about it all the time. You talk about it all the time. But is there anything you notice about the artists that put themselves out there to come to events like this, or even just to attend like networking events that is obvious to you?
Well, I think there's 2 types that come to our event. and one is really good, and one is actually not so good. Not going to diminish people, but this is a risk that some people run into. I'll talk about in a second. The first one is like I said, so many people who come to LashCon, and I start looking. I actually like to look when I see a podcaster or someone with training, and I go back and I look at all the people who come to LashCon. Oh, they came in 2019. Oh, they came in 2021, and I look at them now. And it's kind of cool to see these are the A-type personalities who are just like, no, not really an A-type personality, like they are like a male dominating type, but motivated people who want to make a difference, who want to help our industry. They want to bless people. They want to be, they want to have a legacy in our industry. They don't want to just, and by the way, there's nothing wrong saying, you know what? I like to work 20 hours a week and be home for my kids in the afternoon, and that's fine. So I want to be careful not to ever diminish whatever path you choose, because each of us has different ones. But I will say the people come to LashCon are really the types that are going to motivate you. So if you're like, man, I just wish I met some other like-minded people who want to do big things. Like I talked to my lash artists in the area, and they're all like, nah, it's okay. I just want to do my little thing, go home. And I'm not really into all that. They probably don't even look at their Instagram. They're not really driven in any way. Don't listen to podcasts. They're just, your everyday lash artists living. And really what they want is just that simple little life so they can have a job that supports them. Right. And then there's those types like you, Shelby, who want to take over the world and want to do everything. I mean, Shelby's got her school. She has a salon. She has a podcast. Has a store now. Is going to be doing these other types of travel events now. I mean, she literally is just blowing off the lid of all the possibilities and things she's doing. And you're kind of like, that's our ideal client. I would say that's the person that I love to see at LashCon. So if that's you, or you're just starting, man, I really love lashing, but I want to do more. LashCon's where you come, because you're going to meet people like that, and that's going to give you that fire and burning and that accountability that you don't want to come back next year and go, hey, what did you do? And like, nothing. I did nothing. I just talked about stuff I'm going to do, but did none of it. That's not it. Now, the second student, which is or second type of person, which I say is more it's like someone who has all the intentions to be that, but they're like the professional student. They just love podcasts. They love classes, but they don't act on it. Like they're just always learning. And it's great to have that drive and learn, but they need to stop doing that and start taking action, because I tend to do that. Sometimes I'm tempted to just learn, read books, listen to podcasts, go to conferences. And then it's like, but now you have to change. You can't just learn all that stuff and not change. I remember when Shelby went with us, you came to us at Team-Based Conference. You left the room on the first speaker and went and signed up because you're like, I need change. I'm not going to sit here and keep running my business the way I am. I'm done with the old ways. I am a person of change. And that was that's one reason why you're who you are. You do amazing things because you're always saying, nope, not going to keep doing this. Going to change it. Move on. Change. I remember when you talked about doing YouTube, you're like, and you didn't happen the timeline you wanted to, but you got to it. You're doing it now. So you're willing. Sometimes our desires or plans to take little detours, but still in the end, you got to do it. Even with the Lash Boss Summit, you want to do that. I remember we talked about doing that a couple of years ago. And you're like, no, I want to do it. And you're like, oh my gosh, if I do it, I just don't think it's not the right time. But you still were going to do it, and you made it happen. So I think in fact, this year I might talk about a little bit at LashCon. It's like, I don't want you to be one of those people when you come to LashCon or you come to Lash Boss Summit or any other event or listen to our podcast. Don't just be a professional student who all your life you just learn, and you're the smartest person in the room because you know everything. I want you to be a person of action and just make those choices and live with the mistakes, live with the failures, because that's the lesson you had to learn. It's okay. And you move on from it. And eventually you'll be doing all the stuff that you talked about doing, because action brings clarity. Without that action, you'll never know if it will work or not. But once you start acting, then you get that feedback, and then you start to grow. And then, you'll maybe like me, and some things we try fail horribly, and then other things you'll do great. And then you'll find what you like too. That's the thing too. Sometimes how many podcasts have started and then they end after 3 months? Because I realized I don't think they really like doing it.
I have another question for you. And then I wanted to talk about what we're doing this summer.
Yes.
So I've become really, really interested in people's habits and routines. If they have any sort of like daily routines in their mornings, evenings. What does your work days look like? I know you work a lot, and it seems like you never get tired, by the way. I just am curious, like Is there something that you're doing? I just need to hear, what is
Yeah.
Paul's like morning routine? What's his evening routine?
Yeah. It's cocaine. No, that's weird enough. I was at a party once, this is back pre-COVID, and with all these lawyers in New York area. My friend of mine is like this big deal. And I was at his 50th party and all these lawyers are from New York there. And I was like, I'm so naive because I don't do drugs. And I never have really, I mean, the pot, but
Yeah.
nothing really.
Yeah.
And so I'm in this room with these guys and they're like, so how do you keep going? How are you doing? And they're like, because they're talking about what they're doing. I'm like, and the guy goes, oh, it's just, a little Coke and it's okay. And I'm like, no, but really? They go, yeah, no, that's what we do Coke. He's like, what he goes, you don't? I'm like, no, I ever have and I never will.
Yeah.
It was just weird to see that there are people now, that's how they keep their going, and all the stereotypes you think about of Wall Street are true. But that said, for me, I my morning routine is changed. I used to be I am a night person, but I'm also a morning person. I've always been a little, more hyper and always had good energy. Thank God, even at this point, I was always afraid by 50 something, I'll be like just like a slug, but not yet. Those days haven't come. But so I wake up at 5 a.m. most days, at least during the week. Weekends, I might sleep in now to 7 or 8, but I wake up at 5 a.m. And for me, it's becoming more of a routine. You're right about routines. I used to almost pride myself being the anti-routine person. Like every day is different. Every day I'm going to not do the same thing. But now for me, I love to wake up, make my coffee. I usually read some news. I get like 4 or 5 feeds from all different newspapers, I would say both conservative and liberal, because I actually like to hear all the information. I don't just like to get one side or the other, which I encourage a lot of other people to do, because
I can see this. Yeah.
Yeah. Often people just get in their little narrow lane and then they hate everyone else. And I'm like, no, I think it'd be smart if we all just listen a little bit more to each other and we'd find more common ground and ability to work together. So I do that. And then I have a quiet time. So for me as a Christian, I read my Bible, spend some time in prayer. I get a devotional that I read every day. And that's probably the first hour. So by 5 or 6, I'm done with all the kind of getting ready for my day, reading, learning, and studying and praying and all that stuff. Then by 6-ish or so, unless there's some urgent emails, I might get to those right away, because sometimes an email comes in from something LashCon that can't wait. And then by 6, I move into more of my prep time. So I will use that time, a little bit of time, just go over my schedule, go over my to-do list, and just kind of prioritize. Like today, what I'm going to do, I try to only do really 1 or 2 big projects a day that take a lot of time. And then I have tons of little things, right? So, and I've tried both these, and I can't say which one works best. Sometimes it's nice to get a whole bunch of little things out of the way, because it kind of builds that momentum and you go, oh, wow, I got 5 things done. And then you get ready for your big project. But sometimes the temptation is to get stuck in the little stuff and then you never get to the big project, which that's always painful at the end of the day. Like, oh my gosh, I didn't get any of that done. And then I usually have my 1 or 2 projects, but I usually take a break about 8 or so, take dogs out, poop and pee our dogs, feed them. And then Tuss is up by that point and we drive to work, and I come to the office around 10. So the first 4 or 5 hours, I'm actually just working out of our kitchen, because we, one day we'll have an office when all our kids are moved out, but for now the kitchen's my office. And and then I go to the office and then we do the day. Now every day as far as work goes is
for sure different.
There's nothing similar. There's like no patterns.
Same.
It is just one thing to the next. It's always an adventure. And then evenings for me, my times are very, very simple. I literally get home. I try to fast 16 hours a day. So I'm usually try to be done eating by 9. I take a late dinner usually, then I spend an hour maybe just reading or relaxing with Tess, maybe see a show, not so much as we used to. And then I'm in bed between 10 and 11. So yeah, it's pretty unexciting. And that's literally like 6 days a week almost, because Sundays are my one day I tend to try not to work much. I tend to take most of Sundays off if I can. So, or unless we're traveling.
Yeah, I've noticed, because like getting your emails sometimes, I'm like, when does Paul sleep? Because like it's just funny. I'm like, wow, like you are I think the hardest worker I know, actually. You just are always working, and it's just interesting to hear people's how they get it done.
Yeah, well, the good news is my kids are all grown, right? My youngest is 23, and she just moved out last week. So at this point, I have 1 kid left in the house. The other 2 are out. So it's weird when you get older, you actually have a lot more time. Also, you just like, because, we really are aiming to build something right now, and we got some momentum. So I almost feel like I need to keep pouring more fuel in the fire because I've always worked a lot, but I've never worked this much.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it's like 80-hour weeks are normal right now. That's not the exception. That's the norm for now.
I think there's something too about like when you find your groove, your purpose, even it just everything feels better than when you work a job that was okay, but it was like not this. So yeah.
And I think running a salon for us was just okay.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was fun, but it definitely had a lot of hardships. This, I really, there's very few things that I look at and I bang my head against the wall. I mean, I got one probably I could come up with. I won't publicly say, but overall, this job is actually, it's fun. I mean, when they're getting to interact with people, helping lash artists with their life, with their career, with their business, working with all the major brands and talking to them, getting to know the CEOs and their management and their people and getting to be friends with them and then going and traveling too now. I mean, that's a big part of the last few years. Is we're gone almost every other week at some lash related event or beauty related event. And that's been really fun because I feel like we're making friends all over the country. We're going to be in your place in 3 weeks. We're going to see, we see you 3 times this month.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about that. So it's our second annual Las Vegas Lash Social. It's such a tongue twister.
It is a little bit.
We're throwing the same party we threw last year, same place. It's in the Blanca Penthouse, the Sahara Hotel.
Sahara, yeah. Is it Sarah or Sahara? I don't know. Sahara. Let's say Sahara Hotel.
Well, yes. One of those.
I don't know.
Same
tomato,
thing.
Tomato.
So it's during IBS, which I've been going to IBS for a long, long time. So have you. I think we may have like passed each other at one point during IBS.
Maybe. I mean, we went there 2011, I think. 2010, 2011, I think is when I started going. Tuss went before that even. And you started, when did you start going?
That's way before me.
I know you and me tried to connect in 2018.
Yes, that's when I'm talking about. Because I think I went to y'all's booth, but y'all weren't there, but I think someone else was there. Anyway.
Our staff was there. That's when we had our salon still.
Right.
So we were running demos and we were also doing podcasting in the afternoon. And we had met through Instagram and DM'd each other and you said, I'm going to be there. And I said, yeah, come on by. And unfortunately I got back to our booth and said, yeah, this gal Shelby they weren't, came back and like, yeah, that's Lash Boss. And they were like, oh, she left.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I still love that event. It's kind of the, original thing that I would kind of just go to every year, my staple in my lash career. Now it's LashCon, but I still actually go to IBS. I just don't consider it to be as heartfelt as LashCon, but so we've done a lot of things at IBS before. We've hosted booths together and done live podcasts, and this year and last year it's a party for lash artists. And so I'll let you share about it, and then we'll just kind of
we last year. I mean, because I remember, I don't know I think you were there. Did you go to Allie's party she had in Vegas, like 2019? That was inspiring. When Allie did that, I was like, oh, this is so cool. They had a suite at the Wynn, I think it was. Yeah, at the Wynn. And it was just super cool. I just remember thinking how fun it was and how neat it was to be in this suite. So then after COVID kind of ended, I remember we had partnered at IBS doing the booth, and I was like, well, we could do that again. I don't know which one of us, but one of us said, well, why don't we just do a party instead? Because I think that's a little bit more fun, because I know there's a lot of hair related stuff going on, but there aren't a lot of lash related things going on at IBS. So we came with this idea last year, and kind of, I think it was only a couple months before the event. I don't think we planned it really far in advance. And we just you found, out of all places, you found a suite that wasn't rentable. Our penthouse, I should say, not our suite. You found a penthouse that's not supposed to be in a public venue or event, and somehow Shelby, through her magic, found it. And we got it at the Sahara Hotel, and basically it's on the 14th or 18th floor, something like that, at the very top. And Lenny Kravitz designed it, so it has this really cool vibe, modern, very funky type of thing, like a rock and roller would do. And it has an outdoor patio area as well as a huge bar area, and then a couple of rooms. And we just decked it out. We decorated the rooms thematically, and we had a bar, and we had Elvis. Elvis. We had some people doing henna, so you can get some henna art done. And this year we're still working on all that stuff, but we'll have things this year you can do similar type of stuff that we hope. I think we might have another Elvis sighting. That's my hope, at least.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, it's gonna be fun. We had well over 200 people. I think we were tapping at 200, but I
It
think we
was
ended up
crazy.
with 250 or something like that. I mean, the coolest part for me was because we don't know we know people about tickets, but you don't know when they're coming or how it's going to happen. And there's a fear, like, what if they all come at the end of the night, like the last
Yeah.
hour? That would suck. Like, we have 2 hours, we're just sitting around with 10 people, looking at each other, going, well, this is a great party. We had a line of, like, it looked like a nightclub. We had a line of about 100 women. Right. I think we started at 9 last year. This year it's at 8 p.m., but it was at 9 p.m. 100 women around the corner. And I was like scared and excited at the same time.
It got a little chaotic, right?
Yeah.
At the beginning. It was just man. And I had to hop behind the bar for a lot of the night too.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just such a interesting experience, like throwing that party, like behind the scenes. Even beforehand, we were like at the store together, loading up the U-Haul. I'm sitting in the back of the U-Haul, just like,
oh my gosh.
it was so hot.
Yeah. Anything bad happens, Shelby may not be here today if I ran into someone, because she was just holding on with all these boxes and alcohol all around.
Yeah.
It would have been a hot mess. So thank God nothing happened. But yeah, this year we're going to dish or have the hotel assist us with the bartending, so that Shelby can actually hang out with people.
Right.
And this year we're going to really do something. I think I'm glad that we really kind of want to do, but didn't do as much last year. And that's me, Shelby, Tuss, and a couple of our staff are going to be there to meet and greet you when you first arrive and help you get
personally
welcomed into the event. Yeah, you're going to have a host who's going to welcome you and walk you in, kind of show you the lay of the land. So if you've not been there from the previous year, you won't walk in cold. We'll show you where it is. We're going to have an Instagram booth. Actually, we're going to have 2 Instagram setups for photos. And then we're also going to have a 360 booth, so you can do that. So we have all these different things set up where you can get lots of pictures. And the place is very Instagrammable, by the way.
Oh yeah.
So you'll love it. And so, yeah, I think this year we're going to really focus on connection and making sure when you show up that you're not just sitting in the corner, staring at your drinks, stirring around, waiting for the time to leave. So, or start looking at your phone.
Yes. And we have at the bottom this year, we're going to have a table with, name tags, and you can do that, get on, check in with the guest list holder, and then we'll escort you up. It's so official being escorted up, and then you arrive, and it's the whole floor of the penthouse is just the penthouse. It's really cool. And
it's our place. No one else there. Not sharing it. It's our private party. So, and it's fun.
Massive too.
It's massive. We'll have about 250 people this year, and max, I think, is what we'll max it out at. And so, yeah. And we sold out last year. Last year, I think Shelby probably got texts like me. I was getting texts and DMs like, I need to get in. I need to get a party. I'm like, I'm sorry, we're sold out. I have no more space. So don't wait. You know, this is one of those things you don't want to just go to IBS and go, I'll just get a ticket when I get there. Like a lot of things you can't, not this party. You'll need to buy your ticket beforehand.
And try that day, go to dinner, whatever you're going to do. But the party starts at 8, and the first 100 people to get there are getting a swag bag. So just try to be one of those first 100, especially if you love swag. So
yeah. And it's a good swag bag. We got 20 sponsors, over 20 items. I mean, some of these brands are putting like multiple items in the swag bag. So swag bag's cute too. So it should be really fun and another bonus. So yeah, first 100. I think that's why we had so many people show up on time. It's like, everyone's like, I want the swag bag. So yeah, you definitely want to get there early. Don't be late, because otherwise, it'll still be fun. Just no swag. That's all.
Yes. Okay, awesome. Well, I'm so excited for that. And then of course we have the premiere show this coming weekend.
Yep. And we're going to be in Orlando, which is, I didn't know, is probably, now it's the bigger show. Like IBS and IEC combined used to be the biggest show. I think they had like 80,000 plus, but now IBS shrunk a little bit. It's a lot. There's like 30 to 40 lash brands, by the way, that are going to be at IBS this year. So you can not just come for our party, which is, I think, the best part of it, but there are a lot of lash brands that are going to be there. Some new ones too. I looked at the lineup just the other day. And so there's some new brands that you haven't heard of. So it would be a good chance. Come to the party of 2 days, 25th and 26th of June. The walk around is only $95 right now to get in, and you get Or no, it's not. I think $75.
Yeah.
And if you use our code, what's it? It's
Lash 10.
something.
Lash 10.
Lash 10. Lash 10. You save $10 off, and you get into IBS show for $10 cheaper, which helps pay for your ticket to our party.
Exactly.
So,
and our party's $87. So
$87. Yeah. June 25th, Sunday night, right in the middle, right? If you come into the trade show, it's Sunday, Monday. So, we're right in the dead center of that. So you do your first day on the floor, come to the party, drive home if you need to, or fly home, or spend the second day on the floor. It's, most people I think will be flying in Saturday and leaving probably Monday. So yeah, we're right in the dead middle of the whole thing.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Paul, for coming on.
Oh,
always a pleasure. Oh, jinx.
Yes.
But yeah, thank you so much. And I know we're gonna
hang out a lot this month.
Yes, exactly. Okay.
Well, awesome.
Cool. Thank you so much, Paul. You're awesome.
Thank you. Appreciate it.